We have George Fossing with us. He is with North Star Financial Retirement Planning. And that group, of course, is very involved in thinking about what you do with the money that you have. And if we were all to win $1.1 billion, dollars, which is just a number that's so hard, George, to get your mind around, what would be the best advice for someone who wins that much money all of a sudden?
I think the first thing I would do is take a deep breath, and I'd probably check it 8 or 9 times to make sure it's actually the right numbers before I said anything to anybody, right? So the first thing to do is just slow it down. I've never been able to work with anybody that's won a lottery before, but we've had many people in the past inheriting money. So it's
Hmm.
kind of the same thing, just from family members. And it's a little overwhelming and a little daunting for people because you don't know what to expect. It's the unknown. The dreaming becomes reality.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's going, wow, this could be really good or it could be a nightmare. And that's really what people start looking at. I don't know if you've heard this old joke, but it's like, how do you find long lost relatives? You win the
You win the
lottery.
lottery. Yeah, that's so true. All right, obviously there are a couple of things, and I know you're not here to give legal advice, but you probably want to have some kind of a legal representative as well as a financial player to plan out the finances, right?
Correct. On a serious note, absolutely correct, Amy. It really comes down to you do slow it down. You do take a breath. The first thing you need to do is secure that ticket. Probably a safe deposit box. Don't walk around into your wallet,
Yeah,
and don't put it under the mattress. That's the big thing. And
yeah,
also, really important is to be quiet about it. You know, South Carolina's a privacy state. So what that means is people don't have to go ahead, and this is not going to be public if you don't want it to be. North Carolina is not, so a little bit of different set of rules there. We had the big winner here a couple of years ago, right? It was over a billion, and we still to this day we don't know the identity of that person. That's
that's
pretty
right.
awesome. You can only imagine what it would be like for people to find out you're on the news all of a sudden, and hey, that's my friend.
Mm.
The phone starts ringing and it becomes a real problem. So you really need to secure that ticket and really start getting legal and financial counsel.
All right, so let's talk about the finance piece because that's your expertise.
Yes.
What would you advise? Because the economy is in such a strange position at the moment. There's a lot of unknowns. So what's the sure bet right now?
Well, the big thing too, Amy, is you have two choices when you win the lottery. One is the lump sum, which seems to be what most people take, or an annuity payout, which basically there's no taxes taken out immediately. On the lump sum, you can expect maybe 40% to go towards taxes. That's the norm. So somebody wins a billion, uh, boo-hoo, they're only going to have 600 million left over to play with.
Hmm.
But the annuity payment is different. It's going to pay out over a period of years. It gives you more, it'll be the full payout as well. So you have to look at that from the first step. That's really why you want financial advice, what's going to be the best fit. When it's an annuity payout, it's really hard to blow because they're going to pay you each year.
Hmm.
For people that say, hey, I don't really have that discipline, I'm kind of worried about a lump sum, this might be the way to go. So these are some of the variables you really need to look at. And getting that counsel, again, seeking people that can really help out. You're right, with the markets are kind of crazy, but there's also a lot of scammers out there. You've got to be
Mm.
really careful about out there. Everybody's got a great idea, and if this is not your world, the world of finance, and all of a sudden you get this lump sum, you can expect some characters coming out of the woodwork, and that's really good. Hey, this sounds really really good, except sounds too good to be true. Yeah, usually is.
Probably is.
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing too. So we sit down with that. People always, it's good to be excited. It's certainly fine. You really want to see what's important. I'm a big believer in this too, Amy. You were fortunate enough to have this, to win this. You need to be benevolent with this money, with a portion of it. Tithing is important, and taking, really thinking about this, about a legacy.
Hmm.
Can you make an impact, not just to your family and other people's lives in the community? I think this is very, very important, and it really is more self-fulfilling. It's a little bit of karma, right?
Mm.
Where if you do the right thing will happen. I think it's a big, big side of this too. So you take care of what you need to. First thing people do is they pay off their debt.
Yep.
I would hope for most people a $600 million
We take
windfall
care of
would
it.
pay off their house.
I hope so too, man.
And then
Oh.
you want to look at gifting, family members and things like that. It becomes very, very, again, overwhelming is the word, and daunting. So you really need to be somewhat who's grounded, and seek people who are less emotional and really thinking and challenging you on some of your thoughts, I think, which is say, hey, you can do this, but this is a better way to accomplish this. I think that's critical. I mean, it's just a smart play.
Well, George, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you so much, North Star Financial. You guys are
It's
great. Thank you.
been my pleasure. Thanks so much. Good luck. Go to the winners.
Yes.